The Sennebogen 895E is the largest material handler ever built. Operating weight up to 420 tons, reach up to 40 meters. It was built at a factory in Sennebogen, Bavaria by a company the same German family has owned for over 70 years. Caterpillar makes material handlers too. The MH3260, the MH3250, the MH3032. Real machines, real yellow paint, real dealers in every state. But Caterpillar is not the leader in this category. 3 European brands own the market: Sennebogen, Liebherr, and Fuchs. But walk into any major American scrapyard with crushed cars stacked to the fence line or onto the quays of any Great Lakes port and count the logos on the iron actually moving steel. If you cover the construction equipment market, subscribe to Kwai Soup. I break down how European manufacturers took entire product categories away from Caterpillar every week. A material handler is not an excavator. The two machines look similar at a distance, but they are purpose-built for different jobs. An excavator digs. A material handler lifts, reaches, and sorts. The platform that separates them is the hydraulic elevating cab. On a Sennebogen 870E hybrid, the operator's cab can rise more than 7 meters above the chassis. That gives direct line of sight over the top of a loaded rail car, the bed of a triaxle semi, or the hold of a river barge. No standard excavator has that. The attachments are different too. 5-tine grapples for shredded auto bodies, orange peel grapples for loose scrap, clamshell buckets for sand, grain, and aggregate, scrap magnets pulling plate steel off a pile, 2-piece booms with a port stick for extra reach over water. The job sites are different. A scrap metal recycling facility sorting ferrous from non-ferrous, a Great Lakes port unloading a bulk carrier, a municipal recycling center moving cardboard bales, a demolition site where a high-reach version pulls down a 6-story office block, a timber yard loading logs onto trucks. Caterpillar has excavators, wheel loaders, and dozers. The yellow fleet covers almost every category on an American job site. But in material handlers, the story is different. Sennebogen's story starts in 1952. A 21-year-old named Eric Sennebogen opened a workshop in Straubing, Bavaria, and started building agricultural machinery. By 1962, he had built his first hydraulic excavator. In 1980, the company unveiled the world's first hydraulically adjustable articulated boom at the Bauma Trade Fair in Munich, a design that became the global standard for material handlers and is still in use today. The Sennebogen family still owns the company, 3rd generation, still headquartered in Straubing, still family controlled, still private, still focused almost exclusively on material handling machinery and mobile cranes. There is no activist investor pushing for a move into farm tractors or mining trucks. The entire engineering budget goes into one category. The machine that defines the middle of the lineup is the 870E hybrid, operating weight 97 to 145 metric tons, maximum reach 27 meters. A 261 kilowatt Cummins Tier 4 F diesel on the standard variant, or a 250 kilowatt electric drive option for ports that want to cut emissions and fuel costs. The headline feature is the Green Hybrid Energy Recovery System, a pair of hydraulic cylinders mounted on the boom next to the main lifting cylinders. Every time the boom lowers, those cylinders compress gas stored in tanks on the rear of the machine. On the next upstroke, that pressurized gas helps lift the boom back up. Same principle as a compressed spring releasing stored energy. Fuel consumption on the 870E hybrid drops by up to 30% versus a non-hybrid equivalent. Over a 10-year service life in a port running 2 shifts a day, that number moves real money. Operators in Belgium, Turkey, Germany, Sweden, and the United States have all specified the 870E hybrid for that reason. The Paducah County Riverport sits on the Tennessee River in western Kentucky, a few miles upstream from where the Ohio River meets the Mississippi. It is one of the most strategic inland ports in the United States. In 2015, the port's new executive director looked at a 20-year-old lattice boom crane on the dock and decided it was done. The bid went out. Rope cranes, hydraulic material handlers, diesel-powered and electric drive machines, all invited to compete. In mid-September 2017, Sennebogen won the contract. The machine delivered was an 870 RHD with a 355 horsepower Cummins diesel, a 5-yard clamshell bucket, and a bent boom reaching 66 feet horizontally and 50 feet below the cell deck. Brandeis Machinery, the Sennebogen distributor based in Louisville, handled delivery and operator training. The port moves sand, aggregates, and fertilizers off Tennessee River barges all day long. The 870 RHD replaced a machine that had been on the dock since Bill Clinton's first term. The port manager in Paducah summarized the new iron in one line: "You can stand next to this machine with the engine running and have a conversation without raising your voice." American taxpayer dollars, American port revenue, federal marine highway designation, and the iron doing the lifting wears a Sennebogen label, assembled in Bavaria and trucked in through Stanley, North Carolina. The Paducah Riverport is not an exception. It is the pattern. Liebherr was founded in 1949. Hans Liebherr, a construction company heir in southern Germany, built the first Liebherr tower crane by hand because he needed one for his own job sites and could not source a good one anywhere. The Liebherr Group today is headquartered in Bully, Switzerland, still family-owned, still run by Liebherr descendants, and still one of the largest construction equipment manufacturers in the world. The material handler line runs from the LH22M on the small end through the LH30M, the LH40M, and the LH50M ERC in the middle, up to the LH60M and the LH80C for the heaviest port and scrapyard applications. There is also an A-series with wheeled undercarriages for tire-mobile scrapyards. Every one of these machines is purpose-built for material handling. The distinguishing Liebherr advantage is vertical integration. The hydraulic cylinders and hydraulic systems are engineered in-house. The undercarriages are built in-house. The cabs are designed in-house. The diesel engines on many models are Liebherr's own design and assembly. When something breaks on a Liebherr LH60M on a Rotterdam dock, the port specifies Liebherr, parts from Liebherr dealers running Liebherr diagnostic software. The supply chain loops back to the same company. American scrapyards running Liebherr LH50M ERC machines in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Texas have not been waiting for Caterpillar to build a comparable dedicated material handler platform. They have been running German iron for the last 15 years. If you run heavy equipment for a living or spec it for a fleet, hit subscribe. Quisoup covers the construction and mining equipment market every week. Terex Fuchs is the German material handler specialist inside the Terex Corporation. The Fuchs brand goes back to 1888 when Johannes Fuchs started a blacksmith and agricultural machinery shop in southern Germany. Production moved to a plant in Bad Schönborn in the late 1950s, and Fuchs introduced its first hydraulic excavator in the 1960s. Terex picked up the brand in 2002 through the Schaef Group acquisition. Fuchs is now the oldest brand inside the Terex portfolio, and material handling is its only focus. The flagship is the MHL 390F, introduced in 2016. Operating weight between 76 and 87 metric tons. Maximum reach up to 24.5 meters. A 4-point outrigger stabilizer platform at the base of the machine that locks the chassis in place during heavy lifts at extended reach. That stability package is what separates the MHL 390F from a standard crawler-mounted unit. A scrap operator can push the stick out to full extension with a loaded orange peel grab and not worry about tipping. Fuchs markets the MHL 390F primarily into Mediterranean ports, Baltic terminals, and long-reach scrap applications in Turkey and Eastern Europe. It is the third European brand on the short list every port and scrap purchasing manager reviews, and it is not Caterpillar. Why Europe owns this category comes down to product development budget. Sennebogen, Liebherr, and Fuchs each treat material handling as a core business. Dedicated engineering teams, dedicated factories, dedicated research and development cycles. Caterpillar treats material handlers as a line extension on the excavator platform. A Cat MH3260 is structurally a modified Cat 336 excavator with an elevating cab, a different boom geometry, and a material handling grapple. It is a good machine. It is not a purpose-built platform from the ground up. Every European competitor in the top three starts from a clean sheet with material handling as the target application. This shows up on the spec sheet, hydraulically elevating cab standard on every European model, optional on CAT. Green hybrid energy recovery on Sennebogen, no equivalent system on the CAT MH lineup. Liebherr vertical integration on hydraulics and engines, CAT sourcing externally. Fuchs 4-outrigger stability platform, not offered by Caterpillar. The European machines are specified with material handling as the primary use case. The CAT MH line carries excavator-derived compromises forward. Then there is the dealer network. Sennebogen LLC, the North American subsidiary, was established in 2000 and moved into a dedicated campus in Stanley, North Carolina in 2010. Not Charlotte, not Raleigh. Stanley, a small town in Gaston County, northwest of Charlotte. What started as a sales and parts office has grown into a full training academy, a spare parts warehouse, and a service organization covering more than 100,000 square feet, with a further expansion under construction since 2024. Sennebogen has more than 30 distribution partners across the Americas, including Brandeis Machinery for Kentucky and Indiana. This is not a German company selling through export containers. This is a German company operating a full North American service network with local dealers, local parts inventory, and local trained technicians. When an American scrap operator calls Sennebogen LLC at 9 in the morning with a down machine, a Brandeis technician is often on the job site before lunch. Caterpillar competes with real iron and real dealers in this category. Real MH3250s, real MH3260s, real yellow paint on real job sites. But purpose-built engineering and family-owned research and development commitment went to the European specialists, and the market has not shifted back. The story of the American scrapyard running German iron is not about sentiment. It is about a machine built by a family in Straubing, outperforming a line extension from the largest construction equipment manufacturer in the world. Subscribe to Quisoup for more on the construction equipment market, the brands, the machines, and the money that moves them.